Hello Gemini, Gemini Rising, and Gemini Moon people. This is your astrological horoscope for the month of November 2017. And a quick reminder for everybody about how this works. Remember, these monthly horoscopes talk about the background energies that are long-term. That means at least 2 weeks or more when it comes to what's going on with the horoscope. If you're interested in more weekly aspects or flavor of the week types of things, I definitely recommend checking out your weekly horoscopes. The first half is exclusively astrology, so there's something in it for everybody. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with this month? Well, all month, we've got Mars, planet of action and energy, in your 5th house of love, romance, and relationships with your kids. And with Mars in Libra all month, for you Gemini people, remember that this is going to bring an opportunity for closeness. You know, Mars in the 5th house brings passion, it brings a lot more sensuality to those of you who are looking for love, or those of you who are already in a dating situation. You may be finding that you have an opportunity to get closer in a platonic way to a romantic partner during this time. Because Mars is trying to round out your relationships this month. It's trying to make sure it's not all one side or the other. And sometimes that can happen. Sometimes, you know, we can get into relationships where it's like all about the romance and all about the passion and all about that. But that burns up only until there's nothing left, and we need to add that aspect of friendship, that more earthy, grounded, you know, test of time kind of energy, and Mars is trying to bring that into a balance so it's not too boring, but it's also not too dramatic. And so we have a lot of that going on in the background of this month. This is a wonderful time for those of you who are looking for love, because you're going to be finding and attracting partners who also meet that balance. Mars here, however, can talk about tearing down some walls, and that might be a bit of a challenge every once in a while, because it can cause us to butt heads with romantic partners, or even stir up some, some difficulties or some arguments and some spats with our kids, because again, we're getting to know each other, but we have to catch up. And sometimes what happens is when we don't know somebody, finding out the truth about them can make them feel like more of a stranger. The important thing with Mars in the 5th house, whether it's your kid, whether it's your lover, is to not go down that road. These are extra aspects in order to bond us and to get us more familiar with each other. But again, don't be afraid to accept what you didn't know. And this might actually still bring everybody a lot closer together, and again, add more facets to this relationship than we thought possible. On the 4th of the month, we've got a full moon in Taurus, in your 12th house, your past, your privacy, and your hidden zone. And this is going to be, the yearly breakthrough full moon. Okay, it happens to everybody. Last month it was the Tauruses, next month it'll be the Cancers. But, for a lot of you, Gemini people, this is forcing us to kind of wrap up or get over something that we're not over, or something that, a story that we may have been telling ourselves for way too long. We each have something in our lives that, kind of almost is rooted in our identity as unfinished business. And sometimes getting rid of that or having it taken off the table before we're ready can feel, very, very uncomfortable. But at the same time, it's taking up room, it's taking up space. And the first 2 weeks of the month, could create that breakthrough when we are forced to have closure on something, again, we wanted to keep as unfinished business, or something we subconsciously kept as unfinished business that isn't meant to be there anymore. It's kind of like, if you can see that show Hoarders, sometimes when a person's going through that, they don't really have an easy time with somebody coming in and cleaning out their house, but it has to happen. And that's what these full moons in the 12th do. On the 5th of the month, we've got Mercury, planet of communications, haste, and speed, moving into Sagittarius, into your 7th house of your closest one-on-one relationships. That's your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you spend your closest one-on-one time with. And with Mercury in the 7th, we are talking about opening up lines of communication where things may have been, again, a bit quiet. And this may actually be a wonderful time to close the gap in communication with a person in this area, or you may be, having an opportunity to have a reunion with somebody in this area where, again, things have gotten quiet, or if there are some things that are going unspoken or some dialogues that need to happen for the betterment of all involved, Mercury is going to, you know, hopefully not stir the pot, but still open up that topic. Now with Mercury, we can also see a speed up in developments, in closeness in these relationships. Speed up in developments in whatever you're endeavoring to do, you know, over the course of this month. You know, from the 5th all the way through the end of the month, you know, you may be noticing a lot of you are speeding up towards a committed relationship. A lot of you are speeding up towards getting that business partnership off the ground. Some of you may be bringing in that new, you know, whomever. But the nice thing about this is it's all about actually, you know, sort of catapulting or accelerating evolution in these close one-on-one relationships. And this month you're going to be noticing they're all picking up speed very, very fast. On the 7th of the month, we got Venus, planet of love, harmony, and attraction, moving into Scorpio, your 6th house of work, reputation, and your schedule. And when Venus is in your 6th house, this can bring an opportunity for us to attract more attention to ourselves or a project that we are working on. If you've been feeling like maybe you're not actually getting a lot of attention at the office, or you've been feeling like people are not giving your ideas the respect that you want them to have, you want to attract more attention to maybe yourself and the role that you do and the work that you do for people, attract more customers into your life, or to create peace among your teammates. Venus here from the 7th of the month going all the way to the end of the month is going to actually start to draw more of that attention that you want. Remember, Venus is a magnet, but it also it allows us to win popularity contests in a way as well. And with Venus in the 6th house, you know, kind of working over your reputation, smoothing things out, but also at the same time drawing the kind of positive attention that you want to have. This is what you want to be using to your advantage. You know, whatever initiatives you want to put forth, new communications you want to have, or again, maybe even a new identity you want people to see you with. And this is also going to be doubly strong following a new moon in this area in Scorpio on the 18th. And a new moon in the 6th house can indicate a new schedule, or possibly a new job for those of you who are looking for it. A new moon in the 6th house talks about a whole new routine, or a whole new plan that really does actually work in a much more compatible way with what you are already doing. This may be a way to fix the work-life balance if you've been feeling like there's been a flux or a lot of transitions, a lot of shifts going on in your work-life balance. A lot of my Gemini friends have, you know, had a lot of big life-changing events over the last few months, and their work-life balance needs to catch up to it. And, you know, a lot of you are going to be enjoying this new moon because, again, it could be a schedule that makes things easier to balance home and family, your social life and your professional life. This new moon can also indicate, again, either a better job or a better role or a better schedule more compatible with where things are now versus where they were a year ago. And this is all good. This window of opportunity will be there from the 18th through the end of the month. On the 21st, we have the Sun moving into Sagittarius, again, that 7th house of closest one-on-one relationships. And wherever the Sun goes, we're trying to get more out of something. We're trying to get more out of it in terms of more time, more quality, experiences together. We're increasing the yield of what we produce. We're bringing healing in. We're bringing more energy and excitement into it as well. If you've been feeling like a business partnership is not paying off, or maybe it's not paying off as well as it could, we're starting to see more energy and more focus going into that, making it more profitable. If a romantic relationship seems to be lacking a bit of that recreation, a bit of that fun, a bit of that wholesome connectivity, you know, we see the Sun bringing more opportunities for that in between the 21st of this month and the 3rd week of December. This is also a wonderful time for those of you that are trying to maybe heal a relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic. While it still exists, it may have been put under considerable strain, or perhaps, you know, trying to heal from some kind of change in the routine or the dynamic between the two of you, and you want to get it back to a way it used to be, where it was a lot closer, a lot more harmonious, and again, a lot more recreational and enjoyable. The Sun is providing all the opportunities that you guys can actually take a chance on to make that happen. Finally, closer to the end of the month, we've got Neptune turning direct after almost 6 months of being retrograde in Pisces, your 10th house of career. Now, with Neptune retrograde, it was a time to uncover secrets. It was a time to see what was going on behind the scenes, and to also dispel any illusions we may have had about the people we work with, the company we work for, as well as understand what's going on behind closed doors. You've been privy to a lot of extra secrets. Now, with Neptune retrograde, however, it may have also created some suspiciousness. It may have also challenged trust when it comes to your work and your career, and again, what you're doing there. With Neptune turning direct, there's an opportunity, yes, for healing, but also at the same time to become more experimental and creative on the job. But be careful about going a bit too far. We don't want to be the stereotypical, I guess you could say the proverbial lost artist when it comes to this energy. But Neptune turning direct is giving you more creative control over your job, over your upward mobility, and over your way to relate to your superiors. And this may actually create an opportunity to become more personally, affiliated with people that are in power. But again, make sure that these things don't, I guess you could say, become too, more of a focus than, again, the job itself. Because we're going to be getting closer, and again, now that with Neptune turning direct, it can be a little bit easier for us to, again, custom make and custom design our own job more creatively. But we want to make sure that we're not being so experimental that we accidentally maybe risk or gamble too much with that. Either way, that's how Neptune works. All outer planets kind of have their double-edged sword kind of quality, but it may actually bring a little bit more fun and a little bit less drab routine to your office space and to your workspace. A lot of Neptune retrograde energy may have been bringing a lot of dissatisfaction and a lot of boredom to a lot of the Gemini people out there, and that is coming up with the swift shift after the 22nd. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.